Since the first mutual clubs were set up more than 150 years ago, P&I has grown from a key source of protection for ship owners against escalating claim costs to become the backbone of global maritime trade today, an industry without which the world as we know it simply could not exist. But in the last few years, the world has changed. It will require P&I providers to keep moving, keep growing, and keep innovating to stay one step ahead. The scale of the opportunities ahead is vast and exciting, and the only way to stay ahead of change is to embrace it. Hello, my name is Gavin Esler, and I'm speaking today with the CEOs of North and Standard Club, Paul Jennings and Jeremy Grose, to discuss the future of maritime industries and also the potential for combining.
I'm Paul Jennings, the Chief Executive of North P&I, based up in Newcastle. And that's where North headquarters is. We've got offices elsewhere, but that's primarily where most of us operate from.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Grose. I'm the Chief Executive at the Standard Club. We are based in London largely these days, of course, but having offices around the world.
What are you actually now proposing then in terms of changing the structure of how P&I might work and your two organisations?
Over the years, we mentioned the long heritage legacy that we have as individual organisations combined of 300 years. Over that period, there's actually been very little change. So we think we need to take the opportunity to position our respective companies together to be ready for that change as we move forward. And as the sustainability agenda continues to dominate, as it should do globally, shipping is going to be part of that.
This is bigger, better. Is that really what we're talking about?
Neither of us are, I think, obsessed about the issue of scale per se. It's not an end in itself. It enables us to better support our members and be a stronger and, as Paul said, a resilient organisation for the longer term. With the larger amount of large claims, which create that volatility, the lower expectations around investment, the drive for talent, we need, it's helpful to be able to have a larger organisation, and I think that will position us to be able to better support members for the longer term.
Scale is important, but I don't think either Jeremy and I have the ambition or desire to just run the biggest P&I club in the international group. That's not what our proposal is about. We scale and being larger and having resilience is important, but it's important because it enables us to continue to provide what we think is massively important to our members. And the scale of the size gives us that.
Members looking at this and thinking about it will be absolutely clear that we are in a world of change. But what benefits will they see out of this? Because it is a big change.
But it's the first time where somebody has tried to put together two organisations with a merger of equals. But the overriding thing about this is it is for the benefit of the members. And that's never happened before. It's happened in the past. When it has happened and my company's been involved in, the club has been involved in those, it's been out of financial necessity. That's not the case here. This is truly a merger equals. And the reason we're doing it is because we see a longer term benefit for our members. And that's got to be driving it. Clearly, we see tremendous benefit for the pool of talent we've got in terms of our people. But if we can't believe this is for the benefit of our members, then it won't happen.
Can I just push you on that? You're not doing this because out of weakness or problems. You're doing it because you see something very positive.
It's challenging in that merger equals situation in making sure that we retain the best bits of both companies, the heritage of both companies. I would imagine it's far easier if you've got a very large dominant partner who is taking over and say this is the way we're going to do it. We're trying to build something truly different here.
How will members see this, do you think?
I think members generally would be very positive. From my perspective, it's important that we get out to members and explain to them that they will be dealing with the same people in the same way. The type of service that we at Standard provide and that the North provide to their members is going to continue. We want to come together because we feel our two organisations are extremely compatible and can continue to support members in the same way. By being stronger, we become more resilient and provide an opportunity to offer to members a longer, stronger ability to continue to do that.
Haven't things like this been tried before and they haven't really gone through? I mean, aren't people right to be a little bit sceptical?
There have been more recently, the one large attempt to put together. But I think I would come back to saying not only the merger of equals point, I think that wasn't necessarily, as I understand, premised on the benefit of members. We've been very clear on this. If we can't develop a narrative that is for the benefit of members here, then there's no point in doing this. It's not just about being bigger. We've got to deliver something here that has benefit to members.
People reading financial pages always think that anything to do with a merger is about cost savings and operational efficiencies. That's the other sceptical point, isn't it?
Our organisations depend on our people, and so we're conscious that as we go forward with this, there's going to be some concern that operational efficiencies has some implications for the people. I mean, we're going to have a similar amount of business as we have on an individual basis combined, and it's, as a people business, we are entirely dependent upon having those people look after our members and provide the support and service that we do. Over the longer term, we can see some opportunity for operational efficiencies, but that, those can be in a wide range of different areas, whether that's in the properties that we occupy across the globe, the infrastructure that supports those, our technology, our reinsurances, the audit. Together, we won't need to do those twice. We'll be doing it just once, and in that respect, possibly be able to do it with even greater degree of investment than we would as two individuals.
That's a very interesting point, because that's not the reason you're doing it, but it may be some of the additional benefits down the way. Have I got that right?
Absolutely agree with Jeremy. This is not about cost cutting and taking 10% of cost out of the business or workforce, and that's not compatible at all with our rationale here, which is having a very high service model. I think there will be savings to be made on regulation and other areas, undoubtedly. I think another important point that we discussed is that it will give the shipowner members of the combined club an even more powerful, a stronger voice in the industry as well. We're both very committed to the international group and our work with and support of the international group, and this will give a stronger voice. And our clubs traditionally have been looking to enhance the way the international group looks after our shipowner members. So together, that's quite powerful.
Have you any sense of how members will react? Have you taken any soundings?
We've had an engagement by a small team of ship owners on each side who have been very strongly involved in every aspect of this. But no, the directors of the club and the clubs are very much enthusiastic about this. And as such, that gives us a good indication of what the rest of the wider ship-owning community we could expect to see.
Are you hearing the same things, Paul?
We take that as a reasonably confident position that they are able to, with us, to say to the wider membership that this is going to preserve everything that's good, everything you like about the service you get from Standard or you get from North, that's still going to be maintained.
When this goes through in 5 years or 10 years' time, how do you see the industry? How do you hope it will develop?
I think that our getting together is going to be supportive not only of a strong, the current circumstances of being able to support members with great talent and great service on a more resilient operational and financial base. But I think it's going to be a good environment in which to develop great talent for our organisation, which will then be able to service our members. It's also provides us with a great opportunity to invest in new technology and new ways of supporting our members, which might include additional product lines. It might include different ways of being able to deliver our service to them. And as we are coming together creating a larger group that has the wherewithal to be able to invest, to be able to meet those sort of opportunities and challenges.
We talk about this great heritage, which is fantastic, and my club's over 160 years old, but we could probably go along the timeline, and for 155, not a lot's happened. A couple of things, but then in the last 5 and going forward, it's going to go like that in terms of change. And we need a resilient organisation that can deal with that change. So I think we're getting ahead of it. We feel this gets us ahead of the change that's coming. And the wider sustainability agenda is going to drive much more change within shipping and of course globally, generally, be that environmental, social governance or whatever. We feel this combination puts us ahead of that change.
Paul, Jeremy, thank you very much.